What's up?
Gee, I wonder how that feels.
Oh my God, of course there's no service in this place.
Yeah.
Just go to the guest. It's, you know what?
I was over, I was coming from Springfield side on.
I was in with the woman.
No, I was on Grand. Came from.
Yeah, unless it's, the password is no
I
password.
was about half a block from.
What the heck? So who is going?
I was like, right.
And they just,
Why these lights on a little brighter? I was in here earlier, maybe not. Yeah.
good evening.
I need a new white balance.
Sorry. So let me know when you guys are ready.
Can we get a quick mic check?
Testing 1 2 1 2 3. Testing 1 2. Good.
I think so.
Everybody good? Okay. Okay. My name is Shane Brandel, ShaneBrandel. I'm the Chief of Police with the Decatur Police Department. With me is Lisa Mitchell. She is the Illinois State Police Zone 5 Investigations Commander. Unfortunately, we've grown to know each other too well over the past few years, and here we are again with another unfortunate and sad incident. I'm going to give you some basic facts. I must state, and I can't overstate, that this is still very, very active. I mean, state police is still on scene, so a lot of the information is incomplete, and I don't want to give inaccurate information. So even afterwards, when we take questions, it isn't that I'm not trying to provide information. I just want to provide accurate information. So I'll give you a brief statement. I'll turn it over to Ms. Mitchell, and then I'll come back and answer some questions. So today at about 2:15 p.m., officers responded to an armed robbery at the Decatur Discount at 898 West Grand with video of the suspect who displayed a gun at that time. The video is pretty clear, and the suspect was wearing pretty distinctive clothing. At about 3 p.m., the officers involved in this incident were shown a photograph of the suspect. So before they went onto the street, they were aware of that suspect information. At about 3:50 p.m., those same two officers observed the suspect walking with two other people, a male and a female, northbound on Monroe at Grant. The officers then turned around, approached the suspect and the two other individuals with their vehicle. They both exited their vehicle and at gunpoint ordered the suspect to the ground. Initially, the suspect complied and went to the ground, and then the suspect got up, all the while the officers giving them commands to stay on the ground, show his hands. The suspect then reached into his coat and pulled out what certainly appeared to be and appears to be a firearm. At that point, the officers engaged the suspect, both officers firing several rounds, striking the suspect. The suspect went down at that point, and the officers secured the suspect, immediately contacted the ambulance, rendered aid until the ambulance arrived. At that point, the suspect was taken to DMH and was immediately taken into surgery. Since then, the suspect has died. I'm not going to identify the suspect, but the suspect is a 38-year-old male. That identification process is still underway, and that name will be released by the Macon County coroner. Process for this is, because of the nature of the incident, it gets turned over to the Illinois State Police for investigation. That is done per DPD policy as well as Illinois state law. And after they conduct their investigation, they turn their investigation over to the state's attorney's office for review as to whether or not the use of force was justified. State's attorney Scott Reeder has been notified he was unable to make it to this meeting. At this point, I'll turn it over to Lisa Mitchell. She can explain the process, then I'll come back for a few questions.
Good evening. Lisa Mitchell with Illinois State Police. The ISP Division of Criminal Investigation, Zone 5, will be the lead investigating agency on the use of force portion of this incident. This is standard procedure, as the chief said, for an agency to contact the Illinois State Police when one of their own officers is involved in an incident. After a thorough investigation is completed, we will turn all of our reports and evidence over to the Macon County State's Attorney's Office, and they will conduct an independent review of the facts, and they will decide if there will be any charges against anyone. That's basically all I have. Thank you.
One thing I did forget to add is while this investigation is being conducted by the Illinois State Police, we also conduct a parallel internal investigation to ensure our policies were followed, training was followed, and if there's anything from the videos that we see that could help us in our training and or if we need to improve or anything we need to adjust. This incident was captured entirely on both officers' body cams and the in-car video. You guys know me, I'm not shy about releasing that video. I 100% will, but I haven't even watched more than probably 3 minutes of it. So once we were able to review it, break it down, state police is able to do their review and make sure it's not going to jeopardize the investigation. I'll get it out to you as soon as possible. Standard for me generally is my goal is to get it to you within a week. So with that, I'll take any questions.
The two people that were with the suspect, are you still searching for them? Are they tied to this investigation in any means? Can you comment on that?
So we have not found them at this point, so we are still searching for them.
You said you've reviewed just a part of the video so far, but upon reviewing that, do you have any thoughts on the way that the officers did react? Can you comment on that?
So I'm not going to come to a conclusion at this point. Obviously, it's very early. I haven't watched any preceding or preceding actions or any actions after the incident. So I don't want to comment on the totality of it. I will say the shooting incident of it. I mean, I explained to you what happened. So maybe draw your own conclusions at this point, like most would. The suspect refused orders, stood up, reached into his coat, pulled out a gun. After committing an armed robbery, the officers knew it. Then, when they approached him in the manner they did, it's because they know he had a gun or believed he did based on the information that they had. So, in terms of justification, that's too early for us to make that declaration.
I know you're not able to release the identity. We're waiting on the coroner. Are you able to tell if you've had any prior involvement with this suspect at all?
So we have had prior involvement. Once you get the name, you'll be able to do that research on your own.
Is it Decatur manager?
I believe so, yes.
How long will you guys be on the scene, do you estimate tonight?
The state police will be on scene until they're able to process it. I know we're trying to, do that as quickly as we can, but at the same time, be thorough in that process. It is a major intersection, we know that, and I'm guessing usually probably a few hours on this one. Right?
Yeah, I would say our crime scene investigators are out there now. They will probably be out there for several more hours processing the scene. And of course, they'll be at the hospital processing any evidence there as well.
Real quick clarification. The two other suspects that ran, one male, one female, correct?
That's correct.
I just wanted to clarify.
Yes,
The two officers that were involved in this, I know the prior press release said they were not injured.
that's correct.
Next steps as far as standard procedure for that?
So both officers are placed on administrative duties at this point. That is also standard procedure in an officer-involved shooting. There's a process for them to work through this and get their reports done. We have our own processes internally for them to get back into work on an administrative role as quickly as we can, and they're good to go on that role. And then, we evaluate down the road, when it's ready to put them back on the street. A lot of that's on them. A lot of it is on the process as well. There is no set timeline.
I want to clarify something. The two people, are you considering them suspects who were with the man, or just two people who happened to be with?
Now, at this point, I don't believe that they're a suspect in anything, but I don't want to make that declaration, again, because it is pretty early. based on what I know of the robbery, they were after the person.
Male and female with him.
There was a male and a female.
Were the male and female with him in Decatur discount?
So I don't know the answer to that
Okay.
question.
Are you able to give out a description of the other two suspects? Other than male and female, like age or? any other-
So all I know is it was a white female and a black male. I don't know the ages, and so I don't want to give out incorrect information at this point.
Do you know how many shots were fired, Chief, and how many times this guy was hit?
I do not.
The Decatur discount armed robbery, nobody hurt there.
No, there was not.
Can you sketch the robbery at the discount, Victor? Had it been held up and these people had walked away with money? Can you say what the kind of situation was there?
So no, I don't want to comment too heavily on the robbery. Our detectives are handling that investigation. That'll all be part of the information that we do put out. I haven't seen the report. The report isn't even done on that one yet, so I don't have that information. Yeah.
As far as the two officers, are you able to share how long they've been with the force?
So both officers one officer has been with the Decatur Police Department for a little over 2 years, and the other one approximately 2.5 years.
They were both male officers, right?
Yes.
Are they going to receive counseling and assistance?
Yeah, that is part of our administrative process. We do mandate after an officer-involved shooting that they attend counseling sessions, and then once they're cleared by the psychologist, and then we determine work status from there.
Just for clarification on the thing you had earlier, you had said in reviewing the video that the suspect appeared to pull, or what appeared to be a gun. Was that just you playing it because you don't have that information? Or?
That's correct. The gun's still out on scene. I can tell you it looks like a gun. I just can't, we haven't examined it to be able to give any determination as to, whether it's real or fake or a replica, because unfortunately we see too many of those. So, but I know it looked real.
So that step of the process has not happened yet.
That's correct.
Okay.
Crime scene investigators are still on scene and handling that.
I know you talked about the violence the officers face out on the streets. But just a thought about this as it fits in with previous incidents that you guys have had to deal with. It's just kind of what the situation is like.
Yeah, I was talking to Lisa here, not too long ago. I think in the last 3.5 years, we've had, I think, 7 officer-involved shootings, which is incredible. It's sad, and it's a world that I wish that our officers didn't have to live in. I'm just thankful that we have officers, not just here in Decatur, but across this country, still willing to do it. I believe both of these officers were part of our CAT team, and our CAT team has been, pretty aggressive with those gun offenders. This was an armed robbery offender, but it's almost unusual for me to get up in the morning and not have an email waiting for me about a gun seizure that our CAT team has had. It's almost every day, and they're chasing people that are running with guns, and so it's just insane. And it's the danger these guys face is pretty remarkable, and I'm just glad they're willing to go out and do it.
And increasing numbers of automatic weapons.
Yeah, we see a ton of handguns with switches on them and extended magazines. So you take a 30-round magazine and unload it in about 2 seconds.
Just to confirm, so there were no other injuries reported besides the suspects?
That's correct. There's no injuries to the officers or anyone else that we're aware of.
When you're talking about that increase in these sorts of incidents that you've seen happening, the increase in the guns that you've seen out there, the increase in seizures, is this something you guys are finding to be organized in any way, or is this just kind of a proliferation chaotically, I guess?
Both. And it's not unique to Decatur. I mean, you see it in every urban city across this country, and the prevalence of guns and the ease of access to them, however people are getting them. There's all sorts of different ways. Many of them are stolen. Many of them are self-manufactured. Some are pipelined through, cartels, gangs. It's sad how easy it is to get a gun nowadays. In the hands of people who shouldn't have them. So I'm not talking about legal gun owners.
Do you know if the other 2 individuals were armed as well, or just right now there's only one involved?
I don't know the answer to that question. We haven't found them, but we didn't have the information about them being
Do you have anything to say to the people who live around the scene?
I would ask that they be patient, try to stay away, don't try to crowd the scene. That just makes it more difficult for us, and it also makes it go longer for us. Again, I don't believe that there's any danger to the public at this point. And if they do have any information on those that were with this suspect, we would like that information called in to us through Crime Stoppers, detectives, state police. That would be part of this investigation, try to identify those individuals so they can provide a statement as well.
And just checking, these people were on foot when the officers pull up in their squad car.
That's correct. They were, I believe, on the east sidewalk walking northbound on Monroe, just south of Grand, or right as the turn is.
And the officers already had a picture of the suspect they were looking for when they just had, just saw them right there.
So they had a picture, and the suspect had some unique clothing on. So it wasn't like it was a black pants and a black sweatshirt. It was pretty unique clothing. So when they observed the suspect, it was pretty obvious that was the suspect in this robbery. Okay, if you don't have any questions, what I intend to do is try to provide another update tomorrow. I'll send that out through a press release. I'll take questions and stuff. If anybody has any questions, feel free to give me a call, and we'll go from there. And hopefully I'll be able to have some more information for you guys then. So thank you for your patience, and I thank you guys for showing up on short notice.
Thank you, Chief.